Hey guys, it's Vikki here. Let's talk the Winchesters. So the trailer for the Winchesters Show, which is the supernatural prequel, just dropped last Thursday. And I have a few thoughts on this trailer. If you guys have not seen the trailer yet, I'll have it linked in the description below. And I do suggest you go watch the trailer before you watch this video, just so that you kind of know what I'm talking about, since a lot of fans have kind of the same thoughts as I do about this trailer, and I'll get right into that. Now, as the Winchesters is a prequel to Supernatural, it is revolving around John and Mary Winchester, and it's basically, the trailer does show that it's Dean delving into his parents' lives before, and it showed, okay, the very first snippet that I kind of have a, for lack of a better word, problem with is that they showed a snippet of the Men of Letters. Now, from what we know, John did not have anything, nor Mary, neither of them really had anything to do with the Men of Letters. From what we know, it was Henry Winchester, John's father, Dan Dean and Sam's grandfather, who was a member of the Men of Letters. And we know this from, I forgot what episode it was, but basically when we meet Abaddon and she's chasing she's chasing Henry through time, and that's when I think that's when they learn about the Men of Letters as like an organization and everything. Please correct me if I'm wrong, I may have my details a bit jumbled up, but that's from what I remember. 15 seasons of Supernatural, I do get my details a bit jumbled, okay? Forgive me. Yeah, and that was just from the first 20 seconds of this 3-minute trailer, and they showed the Men of Letters thing, and I didn't really understand it, mainly because, like I said, John had nothing to do with the Men of Letters, and neither did Mary. From what we learned from Supernatural, Mary was born in a family of hunters, but I don't think her family actually had anything to do with the Men of Letters. It was just Henry Winchester who had a link to the Men of Letters. So there's that. There's my first flaw that I wanted to point out. Flaw. I don't want to call the entire trailer a flaw, but it's just something I wanted to mention. And then there's the way that the trailer showed John and Mary first meeting. In the trailer, it showed that John and Mary first met while fighting a demon. And I'm pretty sure that in Supernatural, it was established that John did not know anything about demons or monsters or hunting before Mary dies to Yellow Eyes. I'm pretty sure that is an already established fact, so for them to show John and Mary first meeting while fighting an actual demon, it just does not line up to what us Supernatural fans already know. So I understand definitely why a lot of Supernatural fans in the comments of this trailer were rather upset, and just honestly, as a show on its own, like if it's a standalone show, the concept is great. We've already had like supernatural, like hunting lore filled shows. On its own, it's great. But once you link it as a direct prequel to Supernatural, that's where it really, really falls flat for me. Especially because they're tweaking what we already know of John and Mary that much. Like, John did not have any hunting knowledge before Mary died, and he made his journal up himself, so it just does not line up at all. And I'm pretty sure that is what bothered a lot of Supernatural fans. That's what bothered me, because I follow their storylines, and like, if something is not canon, or the continuity of what we know about John and Mary are just completely messed up, and that's just throwing me in a loop. And this is really bothering me. Okay, not really bothering me, but it's just, Of course, I'll still give the show a chance just because I want to support the CW, the fandom, and like just Jensen Ackles, since he's the one who created the show. And so I'm just going to give it benefit of the doubt that it's going to end in the way that I kind of want it to. And what I mean by that is I thought of a way for them to kind of fix what they've done with ruining the continuity. I'm using a lot of quotes because I don't know what other word to use in this sense, because the show's not ruined. It's just not, doesn't feel right, is what I'm trying to get at. And so my ideal ending of this series or show in general, they can go as long as they want with this show. Like, they can go 1 season, 2 seasons, however many seasons they want. It'll work. Because by the end of it, it's going to end within a supernatural episode. And what I mean by that is, for, if you guys go back to season 4, episode 3 of the supernatural episode titled In the Beginning, I think it's called, that's where we actually get a lot of John and Mary's backstory. That's where Dean is sent back in time by Castiel, and he meets John for, well, kind of the first time when he's like a youngin', and John's preparing to propose to Mary. And that is also when Dean learns that Mary comes from a hunter background. So he learns his family lineage that, oh, his mom came from a hunter background. Like, they're an entire family of hunters. And Dean had no knowledge of this prior to him going back in time. And within the episode, Azazel / Yellow Eyes demon comes up and he wreaks havoc on them. I think he does kill Mary's parents, and he ends up killing John. And he tries to make a deal with Mary, which she takes, which is, I will bring back John if you give me your son. Basically asking for Sam. And as we know, this is exactly what starts the supernatural show, and I think that would all tie in together, because I'm pretty sure when Yellow Eyes kills John in this episode, he does get brought back to life, and I think some of his memory is wiped. The memory wipe part is what I'm kind of banking on, because before this trailer came out, all of us knew for a fact that John did not know anything about hunting demons, monsters, or anything of that sort. It was not the family business yet before we saw this trailer, and it's just like, that's the only way that I can really think of it to make sense, and it would be a really cool link back to Supernaturals, to directly link them both together, since the Winchesters is the origin show of Supernatural. It's a prequel, so it would go directly hand in hand with Supernatural, and I think that that would be a really cool way to do it. I think that that's basically the only way that makes sense for them to do it, because then after John has his memory wiped, Mary doesn't have to tell him anything about monsters. They can go about living their lives, get married, have 2 kids, and then we all know what happens in Supernatural. Mary dies and all of that. 15 years, 15 seasons of hunting and saving people, hunting things, the family business, all of that jazz. And with all that being said, I do not have any affiliation to CW or the writers or creators of Supernatural or the Winchesters. That's just me. This is just me throwing out my thoughts and views on the show and, well, the trailer that was just released. And yeah, let me know what you guys thought of the trailer, and if you guys agree, if you guys think of another way that they could possibly fix what they've done. And oh, as a side note, I don't know how I feel about the casting, because Mary reminds me of Claire Novak, basically Jimmy Novak / Castiel's Vessel's daughter, and I love Claire, and just the actress who plays Claire really reminds me of her. And the actor who plays John has a really similar vibe of Sam sometimes. Like in some angles I can literally see like a very young Sam. I think I would have rather them cast someone who looked more like Jeffrey Dean Morgan, just because we know John as Jeffrey Dean Morgan, or at least I know him as Jeffrey Dean Morgan. So, like, I don't have a problem with the casting. I'm sure they're phenomenal actors as well, because, like, Supernatural always does a great job with their actors and their casting. It's just, I would have maybe preferred it that they casted someone who looked more like the actors who played their adult selves, if that makes any sense. Maybe that's just me, maybe I'm just picky. And with all that being said, thank you guys for watching this video. Leave a like and a comment if you guys want to discuss this more with me, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye!